nalimot ko butang sa akong. Saan yun eh? All right. Is it recording?
Good morning, sir.
Okay. So good morning, everybody. We will start our new discussion this morning. Okay. So we had been talking about social dimension of gender and society last time, right? And our topic for this morning is quite fascinating. It's part of gender and society. Let me open the slide first here. So sad this screen is not working. Anyway, I'll be sending this slide and I will be putting this in the Moodle. Okay, can you hear me? Online class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Right, we'll be starting in a while. I'm just opening the PowerPoint and I'll be sharing to you the screen. Okay, go up. Okay, let me share the screen now. Online through the Zoom. You can see the screen now. Ay, sa'yo kung i-open yung file.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Our topic today is love, intimacy, and relationship. This three topics this topic is very much senseful, especially for us today. So you can see the screen now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm maximizing it. Okay, we're good. All right, so our topic this morning is about love, intimacy, and relationship. So, can you still remember what intimacy means? I remember your exam. Intimacy is the process of knowing
Each other.
in yourself.
The process of knowing each other.
To define love.
Love is toxic.
Love is kind.
Love is like a bubble gum, kung makapilit, makabuang.
No.
A relationship,
Toxic, sir. Toxic.
Loving can
we'll be taking a look at the social dimension of it,
loving can hurt.
the psychological point of view. The most important thing is the psycho-spiritual point of view. How to be able to find this in God's perspective. So in this lesson, we will be able to define terms such as love, attraction, intimacy, relationship, and other related terms, and discuss different theories of love. We will also identify needs, issues, concerns experienced by people who are in a romantic relationship. To be able to reflect upon one's attitude towards love, intimacy, and relationship. Now, according to a study by Higena, this was last 5 years ago, they found out that Filipinos are the most expressive about love among Asia Pacific. Filipinos are most expressive about love. And of course, there are different ways on how we express love. Later on, we'll be able to study what are these. In February 15, 2015, an article by McCain World Group, they had 30 respondents coming from different countries. And of course, there are countries that comes from here, Asia Pacific, our region. So, according to that study, it came out in a newspaper bannering this title: Filipinos are the most expressive among Asia Pacific countries. They found out that Filipinos would say, I love you 17 times a week. Is it?
Grabe.
Perhaps those who are verbal, others would express their love in a different way. So we are sixth among all countries. So we are the most articulate and
Kubra. Kubra.
I love you. So what does it mean to love someone? Does it always mean the same thing? And if not, what are the ways to love, or do you love each other?
Kubra.
Abstract, complicated, and very meaningful issue this morning about love, intimacy, and relationship. Now, I want you to start with this activity. Okay, for those of you who are online, please get a piece of paper. Okay, please get a piece of paper. Then write down words, phrases, or draw symbols which show what comes to your mind when you hear these words. Okay? Get a piece of paper. Those of you who are online, write down words or phrases or draw symbols which comes to your mind when you hear these words. Also, those of you who are here, please get a piece of paper and
Kabalo mo drawing, sir.
you can write words or phrases. If you're gonna draw, you write words.
Drawing. Right, pastor.
What word, sir?
So these words here, it's on your screen, okay? So you can write, or you can draw, write phrases, you can write words. What comes to your mind when you hear about love? Okay. Intimacy. And relationship. So what comes to your mind when you hear these words? Simple lang. It's up to you.
Ano, sir?
Akong kauto ng mga bulan sa langit, yapak sa mga atang. Okay.
Any word, sir?
Yep, any words. Or you can draw also. If you cannot think of any words, you can draw it.
Thank you.
Okay, last 2 minutes. All right. So, what comes to your mind when you hear the word love?
Heart, sir. Heart.
Caring and respect, sir.
Strong affection.
Obedience, Pastor.
The crosser, cross,
How about
Compassion, sir.
cross,
when you hear the word intimacy? Any phrase or words?
Deep
that
connection
deep
between one
feeling between,
another.
yeah,
Close with your partner.
Closeness.
a deep relationship
Emotional.
between two individuals,
Closeness,
a deep relationship. So,
Close.
listen,
Close.
perhaps, getting to know. So, how
a
about
deep relationship between two individuals.
relationship? What comes to your mind or phrases?
Husband or
Connection.
wife, sir.
Lovers.
Okay.
Connection.
One form with
Husband.
common factor, sir.
Huh? Boyfriend.
One formed by a common factor.
Common factor. So there's common factor. There's commonality. Alright, so we will take a look at these words: love, intimacy, and relationship. Now, love as a human experience.
Human feelings.
It's a human experience differently defined and conceptualized. Again, love is a human experience differently defined and conceptualized. Love is defined differently when you have different lenses coming from different perspectives. Okay?
Wala ka pa naka-join?
Conceptualized differently coming from different school of thoughts. So love as a culture universe. Love as a culture universe. Meaning love is a phenomenon that transcends throughout time and culture. Love is a phenomenon that transcends over time and over different cultures, regardless of the past. Whether it is in the past, on how past it is, that same feeling that they had before is the same thing that is most
Cobra. Cobra. Di kas cobra.
grandparents, our parents, perhaps our aunties and uncles, and other adolescents also, and those young adults. What they are experiencing before is also the same as we are experiencing right now.
Tulad na ka?
So the way we appreciate and experience this phenomenon may be unique, okay? But this phenomenon is similar altogether, right? The way we appreciate and experience this love phenomenon may be unique, but then it is a similar phenomenon altogether. Then love as a social phenomenon. The first, love is a love as cultural universe. It transcends through time and culture, yet this is the same phenomenon as of even today. So love also as a social phenomenon. We experience events, okay, which ensure and occur interaction and relationship with other people. So we are a human being. We are a social being. We connect and we interact with one another. We relate with one another. We communicate. As we communicate, we exchange what? We exchange information.
Ideas.
Said, love
Lecture.
is getting to know each other and letting yourself be known. So we talk, we communicate words, we communicate also differently, not just words, but also our actions. And also we have our languages. These are symbols that are culturally agreed upon as possessing certain meanings and are used by people to express certain realities and worldviews. Perhaps in the other they saw this certain behavior, which is love, but yet in other culture, they don't see this as love. So different cultures has their own different expression on how love is. It is a social phenomenon. And then love as an emotion, right? We have our physiological response, okay? We have our physiological response that we evaluate psychologically in such particular life events. So we have physiological responses and we evaluate it through our mind, through our cognition in a particular setting or in a particular context. So we have our basic emotions. What are these basic emotions that we have? We feel what? We feel happy, okay, we are excited, right? Sometimes we are sad, sometimes we are worried or disappointed. And so we also have our complex emotions. So from basic emotions, this is what do you call it? Intertwined or mixed with a
What, Jod? Cellphone.
particular context.
Cellphone ka mechanic.
So
I-install mo.
together with the stimulus in the environment, this creates a complex emotion. So this is how emotion is. We have our own personal emotion, and it is also being influenced by the people that are around us and also with our environment. Now, love as a neurobiological. Okay. So we have this advancement in science coming from the word neurology. So our information is conveyed, okay, from our brain, transferred to our spinal column, going to our nervous system, going to the organs of our body. Okay, so the feeling of ecstatic or the feeling of excitement there. So there's this conglomerate of organ So we have these electric signals that transfers from our brain going to our body, and so it creates these neurotransmitters that sends these signals and gives us our emotion. So it's the experience of love. Okay, this is associated with our brain, with our nervous system. Our loving experience is associated with VTA. VTA is ventral tegmental area. This is responsible for our emotion, and this is right behind our left eyes. And how do you call it? This area is responsible for the secretion of the hormone called endorphins. Endorphin is our happy hormone. Okay, so that's how our body is formulated, and we have this hormone that would create this ecstatic feeling that we have, and also theorizing love. So love is described, defined, and experienced in different ways. Again, love is a complex idea. Yes, it is abstract, yet it is also meaningful. It is defined, described, and experienced in varied ways. So we will be taking a look at some theories and some frameworks on how they would explain what love is, and how, so that we'll be able to have a fuller understanding and a fuller thought of it. Let's go to the psychodynamic view of love. Psycho means cognitive, the brain, right? According to Sigmund Freud, he had this collective term that pertains to psychoanalytic tradition. So as well as the succeeding thoughts that supports these theories, how they refine and they refute these propositions. So in a nutshell, we have our desires and our motives fueled by our life, and as well as death. So you have life, which is they call eros, and we have death, they call as thanatos. So our desirable behaviors are behaviors that would develop positive relationship with one another. It's what we call life. It is fueled by life. But our behavior that would disconnect us from one another and would create perhaps a sour feeling or sour relationship with one another, it's what we call death, or the reason for it is death or thanatos. So you have life, you have death. And both life and death, this thought streams from our unconsciousness. Okay, so it is unconscious in us. Sometimes it will just flow out automatically in us. Of course, there are different factors from it. And the most important factors, or the primal years in which these are being developed, is our formative years. That is from conception to the ages of 6. So this is a psychodynamic view of love. And for those who are growing up, what is very much influential is our primary caregiver. And who is our primary caregiver? Our mothers. So some studies would say that our relationship with one another later on as we grow up as adolescents is being highly influenced by our relationship with our mother. And even it will go up to the point, even when we have romantic relationships, how we treat our mother, or our relationship with our mother is also, copied. It's also being shadowed on how we also relate with the other person. So that's the psychodynamic view of love. And from a psychodynamic view of love, love can be seen as a manifestation of our eros and placement of our libido or life energy onto an object, a thing, or a person towards who we transfer our psychic energies to ease pain or achieve pleasure. So this is from the psychodynamic point of view. And we have this color wheel of love. Our primary, our primary, primary feelings is meaning eros. Eros is, later on we'll be taking a deeper look at what this eros is, what philia is. Eros is love for the opposite sex, intimacy. And you have philia, love for brotherly, and you have storge. This is love for your brothers, your sisters, your parents. So you have eros, you have filial, you have storge. And you also have secondary love, what you call pragma or practical love. And you have agape love, which is unconditional love, and you have philautia, which is self-love. So a child, and these love emotions, these different kinds of love, we may be able not just to experience one kind of love, but we may be able to experience two or more kinds of this love. So a child who loves her parents, that's the storge kind of love, might eventually go to school and would connect with his or her peers and would find new friends. So this is what we call filial love. And then experience romantic love perhaps later on, especially during your youth, and you call this eros love. And so we have this triangular model of love. We have this triangular model of love. If you can see it, this is very this is fascinating. Let me write it. We have this triangular model of love. Okay, we have passion here. Then you have then you have below is commitment. Now, if you only have passion, they would say that's only infatuation. We all know our infatuation, right? It's a puppy love. It won't last long. So you're just infatuated. So if it's only passion, that's only infatuation. If it's only intimacy, that's only liking. Ganahan na ka, perhaps nag-uros-uros na inyong gibatik. And if it's only commitment, that's an empty love. There is no intimacy, there is no passion. But if it's intimacy plus passion, it's equals to romantic love, as they would say. Okay? Intimacy plus passion, they would say it is romantic love. They would say it is intimacy and commitment, it's a companionate love, meaning our love for our companions or our friends. With intimacy and commitment. And if it's passion and commitment, they call it fatuous love or some the other word. Let me see. There's another word for this. It's in let's see what fatuous means. There's another word for this. And it's a combination of intimacy, passion, and commitment. It is a consummate
Sir,
love.
silly or pointless?
Or foolish love or silly love, passion or commitment. Unreal love, so that's fatuous. Foolish and insane or unreal. So this is the triangular model of love. And it should be a combination of intimacy, passion, and commitment. Consummate love. Now, so you have romantic love and you have companionate love. So romantic love, it is an intense passion for one another. Usually it is for the opposite sex and a state of longing for union with your partner. And you have also companionate love. Companionate love is characterized by you like the other individual or you share emotional closeness. Then we have our love languages. Okay, so what do you think are our love languages? Expressions of emotion. According to Gary Chapman, we have 5 love languages. What are the love languages do you think? Our love languages can be words, affirmation. What else? Can be actions through. Can be touch. Okay, quality time. It can be gifts. It can also be acts of service. Okay, so we have words of affirmation. Okay, some people, they are verbal, so they would express their love verbally. The study said that we Filipinos, we are verbal. We say I love you, but sometimes when it's too much I love you also, it doesn't make sense anymore, right? And some also, their love language. There are those who would give love, and there are those who would receive love through touch. It is the proximity with one another. Perhaps a touch on the shoulder, touch on the head, okay? So this is a hug, okay? And being together. Then there are also those whose love languages is through time. By spending time together, by spending quality, not just quality time, but quality time together, and being able to create wonderful memories. That is time. And we also have gifts. Some would also express their love by giving. They may not be very, verbal, but yet they would express their love by giving you something through gifts. They're thoughtful. There are also those who may not be able to give or may not be able to express it verbally, but they do acts of services. Okay, but they would always be there when you need them the most. Okay, when you have something that is really very urgent, and then they will always be there for you, regardless of the circumstance. Now, I want you, at the back of the paper that you have right now, okay, I want you to, prioritize, okay, with 1 being the most descriptive to 5 being the least descriptive of you. Rank these 5 love languages. So rank these 5 love languages according to how you express your love to others and how you receive love. 1 as the most descriptive and 5 as the least. So you have words. Okay. You have touch. You have time. You have gifts. And lastly, you have acts of service. So I want you to rank this 1 as the highest and 5 as the least. Okay? And you rank this according to how you extend love. That's number 1. Number 2, how you receive love. It may be different. How you extend love is different. And how you receive love may be different, right? I want you to rank this 1 as the highest and 5 as the lowest. 5 languages. Online, please do that. You rank these 5 love languages. 1 as the highest, 5 is the lowest.
Kaning sa activity 1 ug 2 sir, bang mao res live ang rank lang tanan.
now you have a understanding on how you express. But also the same with how later on as we come to know each other more, know preference of the other individual. So, love and intimate relationship. Love, although is well studied and theorized, there are many theories about it. It remains abstract, obscure, unless we see it in the context of human. Through Greek philosophy, love has been quoted as referring to humans as social animals, not only mental but also evolutionary and practical. Do you agree with this? This according to Aristotle, we humans are social animals, and it is not just love is not just sentimental but also evolutionary and practical. So that's from the evolutionistic perspective. So let's take a look at the biblical perspective. And yeah, social connection is necessary for us to grow. And the foundation, it is the foundation for a family, like social connection with one another. And from that, where we connect from each other, that serves as the platform of a society. Family is the basic unit of the society. Our social we're able to secure our social positions, perhaps provide human resources, and how we'll be able to achieve our goals in life. Let's go to the biblical perspective of love. We call this transformational love. Okay, so here's this couple who was watching interview. And according to the interview,
Kami ka pakalong agoy na.
there were two, the lady was saying that,
Tagwan ko ni Kwan.
this,
Jubilee.
you don't have to say sorry to the other individual. And she concluded that you have to love yourself more than others. Your love has to be selfish. So the camera moved again to another soldier. And was this his wife got her leg dead. So he took care of his wife. He would carry his wife. He would feed his wife. He would with his wife wherever his wife needs to go, and he would wipe his wife. So he took care of his wife for about 9 years, and he didn't even say any single word. Murmur. Every morning, he would dress her up. He would take her out for a stroll. But she was helpless, yet he was there to assist her. She never had said the word "I love you" to the wife, but then it was defined. The wife can speak. It was not selfish. So these are the two pictures of how you see love. You have filial love, that's friendship love. You have eros love based on and desirability of loved one, based on self-interest. So this is the opposite sex. And you also have the agape love. Love in spite of one who is loved. It is a generous love. A love without self or self-interest. Selfless love or self-sacrificing love. It is a love based on principle, not on feeling. I think this is what Ms. Ellen G. White highlights, that love is not a feeling, it is a principle. We are a cognitive being. So we love, and there's a reason behind that love. It is not just because we are ecstatic about it. That will just for a moment, it will not last a lifetime. In Matthew 5:44 says, "But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you." It is the love for one another. God says, "Love one another as I have loved you." So, what is the difference between self-centered love and self-giving love? Self-centered love, self-giving love. What is the difference? It is what we call transformational love. It is a difficult kind of love, but if you cultivate it, it is